Okay, now content marketing ideas. Content marketing is basically what it sounds like. It's creating content around your product or service that's interesting to people with the intent of getting them to consume that content, whether it's a video or a blog post or something like that. You're giving them value for free, and in exchange, you're hoping that people will be interested in your content and then interested in paying you for your product or service. So one of the really great things about content is typically it's free to create, free in terms of money anyway. You still have to spend time and energy creating that content. But here's a few content marketing ideas. So first off, one of the oldest ones, one of the original content marketing ideas online is writing a blog. The thing with blogs is there's a ton of information online now. There's so much content. There's so many blog posts being published every day, easily in the millions every day. So you do have some competition, but most blog posts aren't really that great. Most people are outsourcing that work, and they're kind of writing sloppily. And if you write long form content, I'm talking 2,000 plus words on a blog that's interesting and entertaining to people, you can still stand out. Most people aren't really willing to put in the work to write some really long and detailed blog posts. So writing a blog can be a great way to market your business for free. And if your blog becomes really successful, you can actually make money on the blog by itself, because you're getting traffic to your website, and you could then run ads on your website and make money from the views on your blog. So a lot of travel blogs do this. The really famous travel blog Nomadic Matt supposedly earns close to $1 million a year just from that one blog. Maybe he earns more now. I don't know, but I know last time I read about it, it was quite a bit. So another option could be to guest post on other relevant blogs. So if you're selling kettlebells, then writing articles on famous athletic websites like bodybuilding.com and that kind of thing, getting your name out there and then linking back to your website could be a great way to go. That's called guest posting. And it can be a great way to improve the SEO of your actual website as well. So the way I would do that is make a list of relevant websites, relevant blogs, and then just start emailing them. Hey, I've got this article about this interesting topic that would interest your readers. I'd love to post it. I've already written it. It's free content for you. All I ask is that I keep some of my links in the blog article. It can be that easy. So you could also try to get published in a local publication. This is kind of like guest posting, but we're thinking more about kind of news publications. So say you're a local restaurant or a local trainer, maybe getting some kind of news story published on a local news site would be a great way to get your name out there and get some publicity. Now, it might be a little easier if you come to them with the article already written. Sometimes the news publications will want to write it themselves. Sometimes they'll be lazy and they just want some free content. So either way, working with local publications can be a great way if you have a local business. Okay, next up, you could write a white paper. White papers are basically like business research reports. So they're usually really in-depth and extensive, and they make some attempt to give an unbiased eye on the subject they're writing about. So they present a clear problem, then they suggest a solution, and then they give concrete data backing that solution. So they're usually more academic, they're more technical, and they're a lot less salesy. So they're often looking at kind of higher level market and industry trends. So a lot of times kind of bigger companies in oil and gas or finance and that kind of thing are writing white papers. But it's just kind of a research report, so anybody could write a white paper. You just have to put in the work to research the topic and accurately report your findings. So this is going to take a lot longer than writing a blog post, but you're also offering more valuable. People might be more interested. Okay, so after white papers, you could write a column for a local publication. And so typically if you're a columnist, then it's your responsibility to publish articles, publish content regularly for some publication. So they do this a lot on medium.com. There's a lot of different publications that you can work with and write weekly columns. It's a great way to build a personal brand, to get more work as a writer, and eventually people will start thinking of you and the publication you're writing for almost as synonymous. Where if you write for the New York Times, for example, that'd be great. For 10 years, even if you're just a freelance writer or writing as a columnist, they'll associate you with the New York Times. That can be a great thing. Okay, you could also try starting a podcast. Podcasts have been extremely popular to start in the past few years, and part of the reason for that is that they're really simple and cheap to produce. Basically, you just need to get one person. The minimum, you just need one person to sit down with a microphone. You can get a decent microphone for a couple $100. My microphone was a couple $100, and just start talking. Everybody knows how to talk, and with luck, you can grow a podcast. Typically, you're gonna want to have guests on. That's going to be usually more interesting than kind of a lecture format. People are usually more interested in conversations than in monologues like what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I mean, a podcast can be great. It's basically free to start. You just have to record your voice. The downside again is that the barrier to entry is low, so there's going to be a lot of competition. The market's going to be pretty saturated. And from what I understand, I don't have a podcast, but from what I've heard, getting really high download numbers is going to take years. You're going to be kind of yelling into the void for that first year or two, which is honestly true of almost all content-based businesses, or content-based marketing strategies. So it just takes a while to build interest and build a following. But kind of like blogs, if you can get your podcast to be successful, then beyond just as a free marketing strategy for you, it can become really lucrative on its own. For example, Joe Rogan makes, I don't even know anymore, hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode. So that'd be pretty nice too.